Good evening and welcome to the October 20th meeting of the Glenville Town Board. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. For tonight's invocation, I just ask that you each all take a moment of silence and offer your own intentions for our community. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Councilman Martin?
Here.
Councilman Aragosa?
Here.
Councilman Gabluski?
Here.
Councilwoman Worsowski?
Here.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Here. Thank you for all coming, those on the webinar and those here in the room. We have what looks like a long agenda, but really not. A couple public hearings to get through, and there are no add-ons, so we'll start with the town council reports. I'll start on my left with Councilman Godlewski.
Just to, Mr. Supervisor, just to thank Mr. Briscoe for paying a visit to the Bar Height Road property that I mentioned either at the last meeting or the meeting before that. I believe he was out there today. We have had a couple of residents express concerns regarding activity that they believe is illegal dumping going on the property. They've indicated they're seeing trucks going in with loads of stuff, coming out without loads of stuff, and you don't see the loads of stuff above ground, at least from the naked eye. Obviously, it's going to be a difficult task, if in fact that's going on, a difficult task to catch someone in the act. But I would certainly encourage Mr. Briscoe to remain vigilant and to keep an eye on that property, and hopefully at least knowing that someone's going out there will hopefully be a deterrent if in fact there are things going on that shouldn't be going on. And that's all.
Thank you. Councilman Worsowski.
I have nothing.
Nothing. Councilman Martin.
Yeah, just briefly, I participated on an interview with the supervisor and Moses Trevino for our planning candidate. And we're in the throes of the process, but I think it was a directed interview. We seem to have a promising candidate, and we have the last few steps to take, but it looks fine. That's it.
Thank you. Councilman Aragosa.
Just briefly, 10 minutes ago, put on the
Thank you. We'll move to the public hearings now. There's a series of them. I'll open the first public hearing, which is to hear all of those people interested in the proposed extension of Sewer District 9 located at 6 Wilson Drive. Public hearing is now open. Anyone wish to be heard on that matter? If you're on the webinar and you want to be heard, please raise your virtual hand and we'll turn your microphone on, and that will be true for all of these public hearings. So again, this is to hear all those interested in the proposed sewer extension 9 located at 6 Wilson Drive. Anyone at all wish to speak on that matter? Going once, going twice. Seeing none, that is now closed. The next public hearing is a public hearing to hear all of those interested in the assessment roll for Sewer District 1 of the town of Glenville. That public hearing is now open. Anyone wish to be heard, both either on the webinar or in the room, on the assessment roll for Sewer District number 1? Going once, going twice, seeing none, that is now closed. Next public hearing is to hear anyone interested in the assessment roll for Sewer District number 2 of the town of Glenville. That public hearing is now open. If one didn't interest you, maybe 2 does. Anyone wish to be heard on Sewer District 2 on the webinar or in the room? Seeing none, going once, going twice, that webinar is now closed. Next public hearing is to hear anyone interested in the assessment roll for Sewer District 9, including extra exciting Extension 7. We open that public hearing. Anyone wish to be heard on the assessment roll for Sewer District 9, including Extension 7? Going once, going twice, seeing none, that public hearing is now closed. Next public hearing is to hear anyone interested in being heard on the assessment roll for Water District number 11, including extensions 10 through 51. That is now open. Anyone wish to be heard on the matter regarding assessment roll for Water District 11, including extensions 10 through 51? Seeing anyone on the webinar, anyone in the room, going once, going twice? I got excited because I thought you were going to raise your hand. Seeing none, that public hearing is now closed. We'll move to privilege of the floor. Privilege of the floor is to hear any matter from the resident. The floor is now open. Anyone on the webinar wish to be heard on privilege of the floor, please just raise your virtual hand. We'll open your microphone and you can address the board. Anyone in the room wish to be heard at privilege of the floor? No one has signed up, so if you do, just raise your hand and we'll call you up. Going once, going twice, seeing none. That is now closed. I feel like an auctioneer tonight. Moving on to supervisors' comments. I do not have supervisors' comments tonight, so we will move on to the resolution adopting Sewer District 9, extension 24, located at 6 Wilson Drive. Do I have a motion?
I'll move
Do I
it.
have a second? Moved in second. Any discussion?
Mr. Supervisor, this resolution is in connection with the proposed extension to sewer district number 24, extension number 24 to sewer district 9 for 6 Wilson Drive. Should this resolution pass, it would authorize the said extension. I always like to say when we have these resolutions come before us, if this resolution passes, the amount to be expended in connection with this extension is fully borne by the developer, and that it is in the public interest to establish the extension to the district.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa? Councilman Godlewski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 13, adopting the 2022 preliminary budget and scheduling a public hearing for the 2022 preliminary budget for November 3rd, 2021 at 7 p.m. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so used to banging the gavel. Do I have a motion?
I'll move
Do I
it.
have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. As you see in the resolution before you, this would move the tentative budget to our preliminary budget and set the public hearing, as I just said, for November 3rd, 2021, 7 p.m. here in this room. And this is all pursuant to timetable to state law, where town law requires public hearing to be held by the board of the preliminary budget on or before the Thursday immediately following the general election. So the public hearing must take place in that time frame. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Godlewski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 14, approving Halloween as a certain time in the town of Glenville. Do I have a motion?
I'll move
Do I
it.
have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Mr. Supervisor, this resolution would again establish Halloween as a holiday within the town of Glenville and establish a safe time for children to trick or treat within the traditional hours of 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Sunday, October 30th, 2021. The chief of police is authorized to print notices of safe Sunday Halloween and have them distributed to the neighborhood watch groups, schools, churches, newspapers, and at any other locations deemed appropriate. And it's a relief to have this resolution on again after last year. It'd be great for the kids to get out, and now we just have to have good weather.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Godlewski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 15, scheduling a public hearing for Wednesday, November 3rd, to hear all persons interested in the consideration of a code change prohibiting smoking on municipal properties. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
As you stated, Mr. Supervisor, this public hearing would be held on November 3rd, 2021 at 7 p.m. here at Town Hall to hear anyone interested in the proposed changes to the smoking code in the town of Glenville.
Excellent. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa? Councilman Godlewski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 16, scheduling a public hearing for November 3rd, 7 o'clock here in this room to hear all persons interested in discussing the options related to the new cannabis law. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Just to note, I think we discussed at our work session that I think the original plan was to just do this by resolution. It appears that it would need a local law. That said, I think it's probably best case scenario allowing for the public to come in and speak on the issue. So I think this is certainly a positive to have a public hearing on it.
It turned out it is required.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Goodson?
Yes.
Councilman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
President Hessling?
Yes, resolution passes. So our next board meeting will have public hearings on the budget, cannabis, smoking. Anyone want to do anything with alcohol or anything?
Can we
Be a
drink
fun
during the
night.
meeting?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it'll be a busy night that night. Resolution 17, one we've all been waiting for, everyone in the room. 17, authorizing the proposed projects for ARPA funding. Do I have a motion?
I will move it.
Do I have a second? Moved and seconded. I don't know, Councilwoman Worzbowski, if you want to just go over how the funds will be distributed.
I will be happy to, Mr. Supervisor. As everyone is aware, the town of Glenville has received funding from the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA. The eligible ARPA expenses include the support of public health measures and the funding of COVID-19 mitigation efforts. As we all know, the local fire departments were all very deeply affected by COVID last year. They continued their response to the public pretty much uninterrupted with additional safety measures, which also caused them to have additional costs that they had not anticipated within all of their budgets. So the first distribution of the ARPA monies that we received was proposed to be distributed to the 6 volunteer fire districts within the town of Glenville. They were asked to submit a proposal for what they would be using the monies for. One of the main requirements was that any funds requested from the town under this funding model would need to be tied to COVID. And I didn't think that they would have any problem doing so, and it turns out they did not. So going forward, the 6 volunteer fire districts, those being Outboss, Glenville Fire District number 2, Fire District number 3, East Glenville, Fire District 5, Buchendall, Fire District 6, West Glenville, Fire District 7, Thomas Corners, Fire District 8, Glenville Hill, and Fire District 6, West Glenville, will all receive,
All receive 15.
all receive 15, yes, okay, this is the last little
It is a
line
little
is
awkward.
a little confusing. Will all receive a lump sum in the amount of $15,000 to be used for the proposals that they all came up with. Some were buying additional PPE for their members. Some I think two of the proposals were great. They're buying uniforms, equipment for their members so that they can come to the firehouse, get changed to go on medical calls instead of going in their turnout gear, which is more difficult to decontaminate and take care of if they've been exposed. They can wear an actual, like a Class B uniform, I believe they call it, and they'll be able to do that. So
As I look at this, Councilwoman, I don't want to interrupt, but I think we need to make an amendment
yeah,
because it's listed,
okay,
West Glenville is listed at $40,000,
that's what.
but
confused
doesn't
me.
have the 15,000 listed in
It
In the
says,
resolution.
item number 4.
item number 4. Oh, it was already listed
Oh,
as
yeah,
6.
yep.
Yeah, okay, so that it's an extra one. Okay,
Yep.
yeah,
Yes, so
Sorry.
yes, that would make sense. Yeah,
that's what threw us.
that's okay. That's what threw me too.
Yeah.
So
So there's an additional 40,000 for the
coming for
trailer
West Glenville.
on
Yep.
top of the 15.
Yep. So the other monies that would, should this resolution pass, be awarded would be $40,000 to West Glenville Fire Department for the purchase of a disaster and rehabilitation trailer for use by all volunteer fire districts located within the town of Glenville. For those that don't know, West Glenville, due to their smaller call volume years ago, decided they needed to find a way to keep their members engaged, and they perform rehabilitation efforts at the scenes of fires and other large-scale events within the town, which is an important function to make sure that all of the people engaging in either firefighting activities or other strenuous activities related to rescues and things like that, that they're kept safe, that they're hydrated, that they receive food so they, so they don't go hungry. I'm a mom and I'm Italian, so that's important to me. Although they don't give out meatballs, which, Anyway, so an additional $40,000 would be awarded to West Glenville. They've been trying for many years to get a grant for their, for the rehabilitation supplies, and this will complete that request.
Many years. And if we didn't get that right, Paul, I was worried that Charlie Beers was going to come busting through the door. We didn't get this right.
He's probably
I
listening.
know.
He's going to call us later.
So thank you, Councilwoman Rosbowski, and all your work on this. I know we met with the fire chiefs, the commissioners. It was a long process. I want to thank everyone involved in the fire service for working with us on it. I know there was some different views on how it should be done, and we all came to finally a conclusion that I think everybody's happy with. And I'm particularly pleased that we're finally getting that rehab taken care of. I know that's been a long time effort of yours, Paul, and congratulations, you stayed on it. So.
Yeah. It's, it enables them to perform the rehab functions, but if it becomes necessary to keep firefighters distant so that they can, take their coats off and take off, their SCBA and all their equipment and sit down and, so it's, and, let's face it, fires and things don't happen on sunny Saturday afternoons when it's 65 degrees out. They happen oftentimes in the middle of the night in inclement weather, and this will be a way for them to expand their efforts and keep our firefighters safe.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's why I found noteworthy in all the proposals is that not only were we keeping the status quo, we're actually improving the service for protecting our residents, and also we're also improving the safety of our first responders, and especially noteworthy, and I'm very happy that he has come forward and be able to do this. This is an excellent use of the funds, and as always, I thank you for your service. But those two aspects of this is very gratifying, including service and protecting our members. So, very good.
Thank you. Anything else?
Now, somebody who is not necessarily all that well knows about how fire chiefs work, is the ideal thing.
I would just echo everyone else's sentiments. I'm really glad that we're able to do this and to provide these funds. It's a great use of the ARPA money. It's certainly within the parameters of what ARPA is intended for, and happy to help the fire department and you guys.
And now, Paul, when that other grant comes through, you got to figure out how you're going to spend that money.
I don't think they'll have any problem.
All right. If there isn't anything else, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Guzinski?
Yes.
Councilman Rosbowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Congratulations. Resolution 18, approving the minutes for the regular town board meeting held on October 6th. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second? Moved in second. Any discussion?
As noted, this would approve the minutes from the last town board meeting, and I would thank Miss Davenport for putting those together for us.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Guzinski?
Yes.
Councilman Rosbowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 19, approving the monthly departmental reports for September 2021. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second? Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
As noted, this would approve the departmental reports from the month of September 2021. I would thank the department heads for putting them together for us.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yeah.
Will you say no?
Yeah.
That was like an emphatic no.
Wow, that was,
Passionate about that.
geez,
He was mad about this report.
no way in hell.
I'm moving too fast for Jim.
He's gotta get that.
Councilman Guzinski?
Yes.
Councilman Rosbowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. On to new business. I'll start on my my left with Councilman Galuski.
Just to share that I'm very excited to take my daughter out trick-or-treating for Halloween this year, and everyone have a safe and happy Halloween, and that's all.
Thank you. Councilman Rosbowski.
I have nothing.
Councilman Martin.
Nothing new.
Councilman Aragosa.
Just state that the early voting does start this Saturday, October 23rd, goes through the 31st on Sunday. The evening time is available on the county website. And that Glenville Senior Center is a following vote.
Thank Thank you. I have nothing. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that.
And a second,
Second.
moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you. Thank you very much on the webinar. Have a good evening. Thank you.